Hi there, my name is Ted Karen. This is a progress report for the Idea Data Stored Data project. The data project is an online database where we hope to assemble data relevant to the goals of Idea. There are other databases online of a similar nature, but we have our own features which we think makes us unique. Our first distinctive feature is that this is an OLAP database, which means you can retrieve and process multiple series at the same time, which makes some calculations possible and others much easier than they otherwise would be. We hope to do more complex analysis than you can typically do with these databases. We have our own scripting language called TSL, which allows you to use spreadsheet style expressions together with variables to do complex analysis. The third thing we have is that we're an open data series system, which means that once completed, you'll be able to upload your own data series into a private space where you can then process that data together with the data existing on the system. The data is organized with 3 axes. For each data series, you specify a measure, such as GDP or unemployment, an area, such as a country name or a conglomerate of countries, such as OECD, and a periodicity, such as annual, quarterly, and monthly. Measures and areas are both hierarchical, which means you can specify sub-measures and sub-areas. And then the system allows you to easily manipulate those groups as if they were a single measure or area. Okay, let's move on to the application itself. It's a web application. Here we're looking at the screen which allows you to enter and edit the measures. The measures have to be entered on the system before series which use those measures are added. So here we can see we have some existing measures. Here's household debt, or we can use the generic broad measure of unemployment. One of the things we have here is the visual scripted measure script, which allows us to specify that a particular measure type is not stored but actually calculated from existing measures. This is something we added so that we could mix together a number of series to make up for deficiencies in existing series, especially older series which stop before the modern times and have to be mixed with more modern series to create a continuous series. Then we can move on to the areas screen. This is a much simpler screen which allows us to add areas which once again have to be added before the relevant series which uses them are added. So here we have countries, and we also have groups, OECD, and here we have all the countries of the OECD available under the OECD tag. This screen, the manual data entry screen, allows us to add data for individual series. So in this case we're adding the data manually, but we can select an existing series. I'm going to use the test series here so we don't mess up our existing data. If we use test M and test A, select periodicity, we can select any one, but we'll select annual, we'll select our starting date, and then we just enter a list of values. So normally you'd cut and paste this list from an existing spreadsheet. After you do that, you just hit apply data. It shows you the existing data and the new proposed values, and you can go with that, or you can cancel off. Okay, an easier way to enter data is using an existing API, somebody else's API. Right now, the only one we have implemented is the St. Louis API, which is a very powerful measure. So, for instance, if we wanted to take some data for the U6 rate measure, we'd enter it there, and we select an area. I'm going to use a test area once again, so we don't overwrite existing data. Notice that now we're only loading in data for one particular area, the test area in this case, and for that for the U6 rate measure monthly. So we will not interfere with any data, any other U6 rate data for a different area or a different periodicity. I'm going to select 1995 as a start date, and so if we apply that now, you can see here's the whole list starting at 1995 up to the present date. I'll cancel that off so we don't change anything. Okay. The system is not complete. There are still some things to do. One of the biggest omissions is we don't yet have a way to import directly from a spreadsheet. Lots of data is made available only as a spreadsheet or a CSV file, and we want to add something to make it easy to import data from those. We haven't yet implemented the open namespaces I referred to earlier. We want to add more chart options to the system. I'll show you scripting in a moment, where you can create charts. We want to add more and more functions. So let's look at now the scripting system which uses the charts and the functions. We go to look at that. We go over here to scripting. I've got a pre-existing script which I'll just paste in. So this script produces the household debt figures for USA and the UK. So if I break it down for you, the first line fetches the data. The second one trims off any values in the date range which are not set, which do not have meaningful data values in them, and the third line displays it as a graph. So if you run that now, you'll see the kind of graph you'd normally expect from a database. We can change the output format. If we change the output format to just an out statement, we can get that data as a table instead. We can download that table then as a CSV file. We can alternatively, in fact, if we go back to the line graph format, we can create a URL for that graph, so that now that graph can be used embedded in another website. And because it's being generated on the fly, it'll always be up to date. The data changes. The chart embedded in somebody else's website will change as well. Another option we have with the database is we can explore the existing data sites, just list them, the existing data series. First of all, we just select a subgroup. So if we look at all the series, say for USA, then we search for that, we can get that list. If we click on an individual series, we can see the list displayed as a simple list. And once again, you can download that as a CSV file, just a text file with the values separated with commas. Okay, and that's pretty much where we're at the moment with the Idea Data project. If you have any questions or you'd like to get in touch, you can email us at impact@ideaeconomics.org or go to the website ideaeconomics.org. Thank you very much.